First ask you about the trade issues, which everyone seems to say officially aren't on the table at this track of the G7 meeting, but still seem to be on the top of everyone's mind.
I think that's probably right, yes. And I mean, there's obviously a very sharp difference between the sort of cosmopolitan policymakers that make up most of the G7 and the American position on these issues.
You've done a lot of work on the economics of inequality, written a book about it a couple of years ago. Is global trade at least partially to blame for the kind of inequality that we're witnessing?
I think partially. I certainly don't think it's the only cause. And, you know, people worry a lot about the decline of American manufacturing, but American manufacturing is not declining. What is declining is the number of jobs in American manufacturing. And it's certainly true that globalization has played a part in that, but so has technological change.
So the rise of the robots.
The rise of the robots.
Is that more important than offshoring? You think more of a problem?
It's hard to tell. I'm not sure anyone's done a convincing analysis that allows you to parse all these different bits. But I'm not sure it really matters. I mean, these people's lives have fallen apart. And, you know, one of the things that Ann Case and I have been documenting is what we think of as the long-term decline of the white working class in America, so that people who used to come out of high school didn't go to college. They could get good jobs. They could start on a ladder. They could get better off as they got older. They would get married. They would have kids. They would flourish. And that route is hardly there anymore.
So, and that's the group of people maybe at least partially responsible for putting President Trump in the White House. Are they going to be well served, do you think, by President Trump's policies?
I don't believe so, because I don't think the policies, I mean, first of all, it's very unclear what the policies are, and you hear different things on different days. And he is very good at making inconsistent, but what sound like very good statements at different times. But first of all, I don't think anyone would have policies that would revive American coal, for instance. And if they had, I think it's impossible, but you could do a lot of harm trying.
So when you talk to the other finance ministers here, the central bankers, what do they make of, for example, President Trump's tax plan?
I think you'd have to ask them that. I mean, I had a wonderful opportunity to talk to some of these people today about some of my work, but this is, they like to listen here, and I'm sure if we could all be in the room now, we would find out what they really thought about those things. But
well, what do you think about President Trump's tax plan? Because Steve Mnuchin is here. He's going to be working hard on that as well. Is this plan good for U.S. growth, good for U.S. jobs?
I don't think so. I think it's massively redistributive. It will, and I just don't believe, and I think the data over the years has shown that it's just not true, that you don't get more revenue, you don't stimulate the economy by cutting taxes in that sort of way.
So not a believer in the Laffer curve. You've done a lot of work on the rich getting richer in the U.S. and the middle class shrinking. What needs to happen? What could President Trump do to turn that around?
Well, I wish I knew. I mean, one of the things I think that's very much in the air is that no one really knows how to deal with all of the issues that are frothing around at the same time. I've become something that I was not for a long time, which is an advocate for single-payer health care. That's, you know, Warren Buffett likes to call that the tapeworm that's eating away at American competitiveness. I think of it as a cancer on free enterprise in America. And, you know, we just can't afford to spend $1 trillion a year for a healthcare system that's actually declining, that's causing American life expectancy to fall. You know, we have one of the lowest life expectancies among rich countries, and it's going down. Other countries have higher life expectancy, and they're going up. And we're spending, you know, an extra $1 trillion a year on healthcare. I mean, that's really absurd.
So